So again, this one is simple but very powerful. It is even supported in Lottie web animation format. Now, when we imported our sketch in the Illustrator, let's start drawing it. We'll use the rectangular tool and draw a simple square. Hold Shift, of course, to retain proportions. Add round corners and adjust the stroke. This is very simple procedure, but you can use it practically in every situation. Let's cut this object real quick using the Pathfinder. Minus front tool. Draw these paper lines using simple pen tool. Now copy by holding the Alt key and just repeat the step by pressing Ctrl+D. Adjust the length of the bottom 3 lines and group all of them for a moment by pressing Ctrl+G. We can align it with the paper object outline. Now you can ungroup it. Select it all and let's move it to a new layer. Rename it. It's always good to rename layers, so later for the animation you can more easily distinguish the layers. We are not gonna use this layer for the moment, so we can lock it. To make the process of drawing this pencil much easier, let's rotate the sketch by 45 degrees. And don't worry, we will rotate it back once we are done with the drawing. Okay, draw another rectangular. Let's just readjust the stroke thickness real quick. In this case to 15 points. Okay, let's continue. Duplicate the object by holding Alt key while moving. Adjust the size and shape to match the sketch. Duplicate the object again. Around these 2 corners. We are going to make the tip of the pencil just by making the square and rotate it by 45 degrees. Adjust the size. Now let's round this tip a little bit. Now before merging these objects into one by using Pathfinder, I am going to just press Ctrl+C to copy these objects. Now merge the objects into one and revert colors from stroke to fill. Change the color real quick. And now we will paste in place the object that we copied a moment ago by pressing Ctrl+Shift+V. Move this fill object to another layer. And of course rename it. Hide it for a moment. Now we are gonna finish up this pencil. Add this point here. Select this one and just delete it. Repeat the process for this part. And make some adjustments. Okay. And change the stroke cap option. Select and merge these 2 objects. Draw a circle here. Just delete this point here. Duplicate it. And just connect selected endpoints. Duplicate it and repeat the process. Now select these points and just round them. Okay. Select everything and just align it. Now this line is too long. We are going to create new points here. Delete these points. And all you are left to do is add these 3 lines and expand objects from stroke. Now this step can be skipped because you could do the same thing if these were stroke lines. Sometimes you want them to leave the stroke line, so you can add certain effects in After Effects later. For example, trim path, stroke width variation, and so on. Now, when we expanded the object, let's unite them into one object using the Pathfinder. I'm gonna adjust the color real quick. And rotate everything into place. And name the layer properly. We are going to need the fill layer even for this paper object, like we have for the pencil. It will serve us for the masks and color layers. Select this outline and Ctrl C to copy. Create a new layer and paste it in place. Now just simply revert colors from outline to fill and change it if you want. I'm gonna take the same color as the pencil fill, rename the layer and rearrange it. Now let's expand the outlines like we did with the pencil. As I said before, you can skip this step if you want to leave it as outline. Change the color and we are pretty much ready for the animation. All we are left to do is remove the sketch layer and save the file. This looks awesome, so let's go to the next step, which is the animation. Now import the file into the After Effects. You can go to File, Import File, or you can just double click here in the Project tab. Now import it as a composition. And of course, in that composition, we will find all the layers that we created before. Create shapes from layers. And delete the originals from the timeline because we don't need them anymore. Let's just clean up the names real quick. And change the layers colors just for easier navigation through the layers. This also is a good thing to make a habit because you will find yourself doing a project that has much more layers than this example. And distinguishing layers by color will make your life much easier. Now I always like to center the pivot points of layers real quick. Select layers and Control click on anchor point icon. Change the background color to white. I'm gonna change the opacity of the fill layer to 50%. You can change the values as you like, of course. Now let's duplicate this paper outline layer and rename it because we will add the blur effect on it. Find Gaussian blur into the effects panel and apply it. Let's sol out the layer just to better see this effect. Adjust it to your liking. And you see now that it is looking like it's not going outside this square object. You only need to uncheck this repeat edge pixels and you're good to go. Let's see it real quick. Okay, we'll move on to the pencil. Now we are going to need the mask layers, so duplicate this pencil fill layer and rename it. Now select these and equip it to this layer, so it would follow its properties like position, scale, and so on. Now as you can see, I can just move this layer and the other ones will do the same. Okay, now make another copy of this mask layer. Now every layer that we are going to use as mask goes above the layer that we are going to apply it to. Select that layer, the one beneath the mask, and choose alpha properties. On this one we will use alpha matte. Let's turn off this fill layer for a second. Now apply invert alpha matte for this outline layer. Now as you can see, the effect is basically finished. Let's add transparency on this layer real quick and maybe change the color. This looks really nice. For the end, let's add some movement. Press letter P for position, add the first keyframe, press letter R for rotation, and the first keyframe as well. Go to the 1 second, or choose the movement duration as long as you like. Move the object, add a little rotation. That looks really nice. Let's copy these two keyframes just to have a little pause in the movement. And copy the first two keyframes so it will come back to the beginning position. Adjust this position line as you like. That looks okay. Now let's change the speed of the keyframes. Select both position and rotation keyframes if you want them to have the same velocity. We can add easy ease in here and adjust it. I want it to slow down more easily. Something like this. And do basically the opposite on the beginning. Now, I don't like the way the animations stop at these keyframes, so let's add easy ease keyframes to them. Adjust the timing. Now you can do this another way. Let's just go back a little bit. Revert these keyframes to the original ones. Select them all and press F9 to easy ease them. Adjust the velocity again. Something like that. Okay. I'm not completely happy with the colors. Let's change it so it looks better. We can add gradient here. So I'm gonna move these here. Change the color. Okay. Now still I'm not happy with it. Let's remove the transparency. Change the pencil color to blue again. Okay. We can duplicate the pencil mask once more, apply the inverted alpha matte to the paper fill layer, and now it looks much better. This one is very simple technique, but with a lot of possibilities, and it looks very beautiful. For more awesome videos like this in the future, you know what to do. Let's make it flow.